In the headlines, freed train passenger receive a hero's welcome in Kebbi State. Flood kills 24, destroys over 16,000 houses in Katsina as 30 are reported missing in Anambra boat mishap. Hundreds attend Maulud celebration in Kaduna. And on the foreign scene, Burkina Faso to pick a transitional president ahead of elections. Hello and welcome to Trust TV News Updates. I am Martia Umar. Thank you for joining. And now the news in detail. Return of Usman Ogujus, one of the 323 remaining train passengers to Birnin Kebbi, created a frenzied atmosphere with many residents coming to celebrate his release. Gujus, an official of the National Union of Road Transport Workers (NURTW), was abducted along with others who boarded the Abuja-Kaduna train on March 28. They were released on Wednesday, October 5. And relatives and well-wishers came out to Koferkola in Birnin Kebbi to give a hero's welcome. Meanwhile, the federal government says no kobo was paid for the release of the 23 kidnapped passengers earlier abducted in ill-fated Abuja-Kaduna train attack on March 28, 2022. Addressing a news conference in Abuja, the Minister of Transportation, Muazu Sambo, said the released passengers have already been reunited with their families after proper medical checkups and examination. The minister, who expressed happiness with the release of the victims, explained that the target of the government was to get the victims out safely without the payment of ransom. He added that there are plans for the resumption of train services on the Abuja-Kaduna line. And about 30 persons are reportedly missing after a boat mishap carrying 85 passengers on Friday capsized in Umunankwo community of Ogbaru local government area of Anambra State. And according to an eyewitness, the boat, which took off from Onuku Bridge, was heading for Nkwo Market and Ogbakuba, both in Ogbaru local government area, when it capsized. The eyewitness said no fewer than 30 persons are unaccounted for. And speaking on the incident, the Transition Committee Chairman of Ogbaru Local Government Area, Pascal Anyegbona, said some of the passengers were rescued while several others lost their lives. Meanwhile, the former House of Representatives member for Ogbaru Federal Constituency, Victor Afam Ogene, who expressed sadness over the accident, said Ogbaru is devastated and in shock over the accident that claimed the lives of some of its sons and daughters. Meanwhile, the Anambra State Governor, Professor Chukwuma Charles Soludo, has sympathized with the families of the person involved in the boat mishap that occurred in Umunankwo community in Ogbaru local government area of the state. It was gathered that tens of people are still unaccounted for in the unfortunate incident, though search is still ongoing. However, report has it that the boat occupants were on their way to Nkwo Ogbakuba when it capsized in Umunankwo Osomala Bridge and over 10 persons drowned. While regretting the unfortunate incident, Governor Soludo further stated that several interventions have been sent by government to various IDP camps within the state. He assured that government will continue to do its best to reduce the negative effect of the flood disaster, just as he called for a permanent solution to its yearly occurrence. And over 300 Islamic schools joined the celebration of Eid al-Mawlud at Ahmadu Bello Stadium, Kaduna, to commemorate the birth of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Politicians from within and outside Kaduna, including former governor of Kano State, Rabiu Kwankwaso, also attended the event. Bello Musa reports that some Christian faithful also joined the celebration.
The event commenced with prayers seeking Allah's protection against calamities that have overwhelmed the nation. Sheikh Samail Mediwani enjoined Muslims to emulate the exemplary life of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. The celebration at Ahmedi Bello Stadium attracted thousands of faithful. Pastor Yohana Buru, a Christian cleric who attends the Maulud, emphasized the need to promote peaceful coexistence among the adherents of various religions.
I do celebrate Christmas for over a decade. I can assure you that not only hundreds sometimes, but even thousands of Muslims turn to the church to celebrate Christmas with me, the birth of Jesus Christ. So what is the evil behind me coming with a team of pastors to also return the good that the Muslims do come for over a decade, coming to the church celebrate Christmas with me?
The message of Muslim Ummah is to learn what Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam brings to us. And what he brings to us is in our Holy Quran. Let everybody learn what Prophet brings to us from Almighty Allah in the Holy Quran.
Former Governor of Kano State Rabiu Kwankwaso and other politicians from within and outside Kaduna also graced the annual Maulud.
I want to urge all of you to ensure that your vote of card so that on the election day you will come out and vote the right candidates.
Is to wish everyone that is here a very good regard and warm regard, and also to congratulate not only people that are here, to congratulate the entire Muslim of the world, because Maulud is an Arabic language, birthday is an English language. This is the birthday of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, at which every Muslim celebrates, at which every Muslim cannot quantify the happiness how we are feeling today.
Since the beginning of month of Rabiul Awal, the third in the Islamic calendar, Muslims engage in organizing Maulud at different places, celebrating the birthday of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Bella Musa, Trust TV News, Kaduna.
And away from the Eid al-Maulud celebration, chairman of political parties in Kaduna State want divisional police officers, DPOs in the state, so as not get them compromised by politicians during the forthcoming 2023 elections. But Lamusa reports that they made the call during a meeting with police to ensure violence-free campaigns.
It is an interactive meeting aimed at ensuring that no violence erupts during campaigns in the state. Political party chairman at the meeting called on the police to be neutral and apolitical to be able to handle any challenge that will undermine the electoral process.
We are calling on the security agents, most especially the police. They are our friends, we work together. They should be unbiased, irrespective of all political parties.
And during that last local government election, the police called us and they said they were party ready for elections all over the state. 24 hours to election day. Then they were not ready again.
At the headquarters here, you do the right thing. But down to your local government level with the DPOs, they are the ones that are always compromising. And once that thing happens, it brings a lot of problem within the opponent. So if, as you have said, if the time comes and there's any possibility of transferring them temporarily from one local government to another, I think you do an excellent work, because your problem will come from the local government.
The Kaduna State Police Commissioner promised to provide level playing ground for every political party in the state.
Members of the Nigeria Police Force, being the lead agency in election security management in this country, to give priority to election security and to support INEC by creating the right security ambience, the right security environment for a free, fair, credible, and each free election.
This meeting between the police and the political parties in Kaduna State comes following the recent election security training for police commissioners and senior police officers in the 6 geopolitical zones. Bello Musa, Trust TV News, Kaduna.
And the police in Katsina have rescued victims of human trafficking in Daura local government area of the state. The victims are from Ondo, Lagos, Edo and Kaduna states. Abdullahi Yamadi has more details.
The victims were on a journey to Libya en route Daura-Kongolam border with Niger Republic. Based on credible intelligence, the police raided the victims' hideout in Daura and rescued them unhurt.
Trying to say here is it is an offense. Human trafficking is an offense against the laws of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Anybody that is traveling to any of foreign countries must follow the due process, apply for a visa, get a traveling passport, and ensure that you are not going to be trafficked to go and be made either to go and commit yourself into the hands of traffickers who at the end of the day they may likely put their lives in a very serious risk.
The police said that the victims were conveyed from Kano to Daura by a driver who took to his heels on noticing the presence of police operatives. Police authorities advised citizens to be vigilant about the company their children and wards keep to ensure their moral upbringing is not compromised. The victims say they were deceived by some people who promised them white-collar jobs in Libya and Europe.
Inside, work. So they want to exchange. They want to drop us inside. So as we got the job, we saw some ways. They are running after us. We think that they are kidnappers. Maybe they want to
kidnap you.
Daura-Kongolam border remain one of the major routes used by human traffickers to Libya and other European countries in recent times. Abdullahi Ismayamadi, Trust Television News, Katsina.
The effectiveness of mass media in the fight against drug abuse through campaigns, persuasive communications and public awareness programs to influence youths positively to shun drugs have been emphasized. The chairman, National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, Brigadier General Buba Marwa, retired, made the comment while receiving management of Media Trust on a Katsa visit in his office. Kabir Lawal tells us more.
Welcoming the Media Trust management, Chairman Chief Executive Brigadier General Buba Marwa retired, said the fight against drug abuse is the responsibility of all and sundry, especially the media, going by the huge role they play in influencing the public and setting agenda for the government. The chairman commended Trust Television for creating programs and called for a strong partnership and synergy between the two entities in fighting the menace of drug abuse.
It was based on competence, ethics, and professionalism. You have in a short space of time established yourselves and expanded not only the print that we all know, but you're online.
NDLEA boss said 10.9 million Nigerians use cannabis, which according to World Health Organization impairs the brain, describing the situation as alarming and disheartening. He said the agency is not just saddled with the responsibility of just harassing those in possession of the illicit drugs, but also counsel those who need rehabilitation to enable them contribute their quota to the upliftment of the country.
The drug scourge concerns all Nigerians. It's a situation unique in the sense that there's no discrimination. It's not whether you are from the north or south that you use drugs, or Muslim or Christian, or male or female. It's everywhere, and it's actually the #1 problem. because it's also at the root of the criminalities.
The Group Chief Executive Officer of Media Trust, Munir Gwarzo, appreciated the NDLEA chairman for the reception and a job well done, where he said Media Trust is ready to contribute towards the fight against drug menace and promised the organization's full support.
That Daily Trust has been covering the excellent activities you've been doing, and we want to continue to partner with you. We want to continue to do what is right for the country, and that's why we're here to pay you a courtesy call and to also inform you that Media Trust is no more limited to only the newspaper. We have the television, we have the digital, and we have the radio. All these are aimed at deepening our services and providing more platforms.
He said the problem of drug abuse is a national problem that affects public health and the security of the nation, which has to be addressed. Kabir Lawal, Trust TV News, Abuja.
You're watching Trust TV News updates. Coming up shortly, we'll take a look at the story of a physically challenged corps member. Details of this and other stories after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back. If you're just joining us, you're watching the news updates on Trust Television. A recap of our top stories. We told you that train passenger receives hero's welcome in Kebbi State. And a flood kills 24, destroys over 16,000 houses in Katsina as a 30 are reported missing in Anambra boat a mishap. And to more news, a consultant pediatric neurologist at Obafemi Awolowo University Teaching Hospital, Oluwatosin Olomoteni, says cerebral palsy is preventable if pregnant women guard against it in their unborn children. At the World Cerebral Palsy Day celebration in Ile-Ife, Olomoteni highlighted ways to prevent cerebral palsy in children and urged people to stop discrimination and show love and care to affected children. Hamidu Igbade files in this report is presented in our studio.
These are parents and relatives of children affected by cerebral palsy. The agony was boldly written on their faces, but they struggled to smile with tears. Cerebral palsy is a group of disorders that hinders muscle movement and coordination, affecting a person's ability to move and maintain balance and posture. As part of activities commemorating World Cerebral Palsy Day celebration 2022, the Cerebral Palsy Multidisciplinary Team at Obafemi Awolowo University Teaching Hospital's complex in Ile-Ife gathered stakeholders to reflect, learn and celebrate with affected children.
To cater for only a child with cerebral palsy is not easy, talk less of two. So what I can say in summary is that it's God that has been helping me. It's not easy. You know, as I've said earlier, that it got to a point that I'm wishing that maybe God should take them from me, because the stress, the pain, the shame is too much. But I just keep on encouraging myself and thank God for some people around me, maybe pastor, my husband, encouraging me. I just hope that one day God will still bring out message.
At a point, I became fed up. I wanted to give up. But then I summoned the courage to educate people that this cerebral palsy is not a disease. It's just a condition that our child will overcome.
Dr. Oluwatosin Oloru Motani, a consultant pediatric neurologist at Obafemi Awolowo University Teaching Hospital, Ile-Ife, appealed to people to show love and support to children affected by cerebral palsy, as she advised parents on measures to guard against the condition.
It's a preventable condition largely because most of the causes, especially in the environment, are preventable. You know, I said it's usually from injury occurring to the brain, especially about the time of delivery. That's the most common way it occurs in the environment. And most of the time it occurs when the delivery is not well monitored or pregnancy is not well taken care of. So it's important that mothers who are pregnant should register their pregnancy early in antenatal clinic and have the pregnancy monitored early so that even if there are prenatal causes, they can be identified. And the delivery should be in the government approved center or hospital.
At the event, children with cerebral palsy defied the limitation of their disorders as they danced in thanksgiving to God for being alive. The theme for the 2022 edition is Millions of Reasons.
And physically challenged National Youth Service Corps members serving in Benue State, Peter Ware, has distributed 50 wheelchairs to those who need them in Makurdi. The report.
The Corps member described the gesture as a modest contribution to those who share similar conditions with him, but do not have the means to get one. The donation is a Community Development Service (CDS) project for the Corps member, who served with the Independent National Electoral Commission in Makurdi.
I'm being motivated by the challenges I face while interacting with the environment. I always have difficulty and challenges while trying to assess the infrastructure around, which has in a way affected my functionality, and I feel that others out there too are also facing the same challenges by the fact that they are impaired and they could not afford to go out and source for money by themselves and have access to these wheelchair devices. I go out to look for a way on how I will do and touch the life. That's why I've constructed the wheelchair walkways, and I also provide the mobility devices to help those that don't have it. Their disability as an opportunity for development. They shouldn't look at their own, leave themselves to be pitied by anybody. They should make themselves very useful to the society such that the society will stand to benefit even with their disability.
One of the beneficiaries, Henrik Bechu, who appreciated the gesture from one of them, said he was elated, as a wheelchair would be a plus to his business.
Attend to my daily activities, especially as a physically challenged person. It will enable me to attend to my daily business.
The NYC State Coordinator for Benue State, Abe Dankaro, while commissioning the wheelchairs, appreciated the effort of Peter Gui and called on the government to complement it by doing more to help those in need.
Yeah, to the benefit of humanity and people with special talent in our midst, I wish to commission this round.
The project conceived by Peter Gui was funded by Beauty Gate Handicapped People Center, Jos.
And in other news, the House of Representatives has promised to punish government ministries, departments and agencies that deliberately absent themselves for the 2023 budget defense. Chairman House Committee on Media and Public Affairs Benjamin Kalu said this on Friday after the budget presentation by President Muhammadu Buhari to the joint session of the National Assembly. He said all committees of the House of Representatives at the National Assembly will conduct their 2023 budget defense session with the MDAs in the full glare of the public. Kalu further disclosed that any difference in statistics observed between figures from the executive and legislature shall be harmonized before the final passage of the budget. And on the foreign scene, Burkina Faso said on Saturday that the process to select a transitional president ahead of the elections would begin next week following a coup by disaffected military officers affected a ruling junta. Traoré was declared president on Wednesday after a two-day standoff with Lieutenant Colonel Paul Henry Damiba, who seized power in January. Togo's government on Monday confirmed that Damiba had arrived in the country after fleeing the capital, Ouagadougou, and Traoré was at the head of a corps of disgruntled junior officers, but there were rumors just a few days later of discussions among some other army generals on potentially replacing him. Demonstrators gathered in the capital of Burkina Faso on Thursday to show their support for Traoré amid rumors of internal divisions in the army. And dozens of in other news, we'll take a look at the dozens of people that were killed in the southeastern city of Zaporizhia after the Russian military shelled the city during the night. And overnight, the Russian occupiers cynically have struck the residential building and civil infrastructure. The military Central Command and said on a Facebook page on Sunday that information about victims has been confirmed, but it is already known about dozens of dead and multiple injuries. Earlier, the city official Anatoly Kotev said at least 17 people had been killed in an overnight bombardment. And that brings us to the end of the news update at this hour. For more, you can follow us across all our social media platforms. I am Martia Umar. Thank you for watching.